Neville Goddard, Prayer, the Art of Believing, Chapter 7, The Greatest Prayer. Imagination is the beginning of creation. Imagination. You imagine what you desire, and then you believe it to be true. Every dream could be realized by those self-disciplined enough to believe it. People are what you choose to make them. A man is according to the manner in which you look at him. You must look at him with different eyes before he will objectively change. Two men looked from the prison bars. One saw the mud and the other saw the stars. Centuries ago, Isaiah asked the question, "Who is blind but my servant, or deaf as my messenger that I sent? Who is blind as he that is perfect, and blind as the Lord's servant? The perfect man judges not after appearances, but judges righteously. He sees others as he desires them to be. He hears only what he wants to hear. He sees only the good in others. In him is no condemnation, for he transforms the world with his seeing and hearing. The king that sitteth on the throne scattereth the evil with his eye." Sympathy for living things, agreement with human limitations, is not in the consciousness of the king, because he has learned to separate their false concepts from their true being. To him, poverty is but the sleep of wealth. He does not see caterpillars, but painted butterflies to be. Not winter, but summer sleeping. Not man in want, but Jesus sleeping. Jesus of Nazareth, who scattereth the evil with his eye, is asleep in the imagination of every man. Jesus of Nazareth, who scattereth the evil with his eye, is asleep in the imagination of every man. And out of his own imagination must man awaken him by subjectively affirming, "I am Jesus." Then and only then he will see Jesus, for man can only see what is awake within himself. The holy womb is man's imagination. The holy child is that conception of himself which fits Isaiah's definition of perfection. Heed the words of St. Augustine. "Too late have I loved thee, for behold, thou wert within, and it was without that I did seek thee." Heed the words of St. Augustine. "Too late have I loved thee, for behold, thou wert within, and it was without that I did seek thee." Oh boy. It is your own consciousness that you must turn as to the only reality. There and there alone you awaken that which is asleep. Though Christ 1,000 times in Bethlehem be born, if he is not born in thee, thy soul is still forlorn. Indeed. Whoa. Man, oh man. Some wonderful pieces of information right here. I am all that is God. Our self-concepts, we are sent out by him to learn for him. We are part of him. The Father and I are one. The Father is greater than I. God, Lord, Jesus, Buddha, all that is, the source, divinity. We are of him until we say, "I am Jesus." Remember, be still and know that I am God. It's the same thing. I am Jesus. "Too late have I loved thee, for behold, thou wert within, and it was without that I did seek thee." Without is out here. Without's in the world. Within. Within. "Though Christ 1,000 times in Bethlehem be born, if he is not born in thee, thy soul is still forlorn. If he is not born within thee, I am that I am. I am that I am. I am Be still and know that I am God. It's where you're from. He made you in His image, and yet forgot in becoming you where He was from. Your job, literally, is to wake up and remember who you are. I am Him. I am God. Be still and know that I am God. It's a nice, calming feeling. There's no panic involved. There's no pressure involved. I am that. I am. Creation is finished. All creations are done already. You call your creation into being by feeling the reality of the state you would call. A mood attracts its affinities, but it does not create what it attracts. As sleep is called by feeling, I am sleepy, so too is Jesus Christ called by the feeling, I am Jesus Christ. Man sees only himself. Nothing befalls man that is not the nature of himself. People emerge out of the mass, betraying their close affinity to your moods as they are engendered. You meet them seemingly by accident, but find they are intimates of your moods. Because your moods continually externalize themselves, you could prophesy from your moods that you, without search, would soon meet certain characters and encounter certain conditions. Therefore, call the perfect one into being by living in the feeling, I am Christ. For Christ is the one concept of self through which can be seen the unveiled realities of eternity. Very deep and important. The greatest prayer. Our behavior is influenced by our subconscious assumption respecting our own social and intellectual rank and that of the one we are addressing. The previous bit was very profound. Again, let me go back because this is very, very positively interesting. Nothing befalls man that is not of the nature of himself. Nothing comes into your life that is not of the nature of you. People emerge out of the mass, betraying their close affinity to your moods as they are engendered. You attract that which you are. You don't attract that which you want, you attract that which you are. You meet them seemingly by accident, but find they are intimates of your moods. Because your moods continually externalize themselves, you could prophesy from your moods, that you, without search, would soon meet certain characters and encounter certain conditions. Your moods. And again, he's going to go here where you can keep that mood. Wonderful. Therefore, call the perfect one into being by living in the feeling, I am Christ. I am Christ. For Christ is the one concept of self through which can be seen the unveiled realities of eternity. Our behavior is influenced by our subconscious assumption respecting our own social and intellectual rank and that of the one we are addressing. Let us seek for and evoke the greatest rank, and the noblest of all is that which disrobes man of his mortality and clothes him with uncurbed immortal glory. Let us assume the feeling, I am Christ. And our whole behavior will subtly and unconsciously change in accordance with that assumption. It won't be long before you go from I am Christ to also you are Christ, and you, and you, and you. It'll be very quick. Our subconscious assumptions continually externalize themselves that others may consciously see us as we subconsciously see ourselves, and tell us by their actions what we have subconsciously assumed ourselves to be. Therefore, let us assume the feeling, I am Christ. I am Christ. Until our conscious claim becomes our subconscious assumption that we all with open face, beholding as in a glass the glory of the Lord, are changed into the same image from glory to glory. Let God awake and his enemies be destroyed. There is no greater prayer for man. End of chapter. Whoa. There's a lot right here at the end. As I was just saying, once you do this here, then you realize and recognize that everyone else is also, again, you're tripling that finger pointing thing. But here, the end is the most potent piece, my automatic favorite piece right here. Therefore, let us assume the feeling, I am Christ, until our conscious claim becomes our subconscious assumption, that we all with open face beholding as in a glass the glory of the Lord are changed into the same image from glory to glory. Let God awake and his enemies be destroyed. There is no greater prayer for man. I don't think that letting God awake means anything to do with what is not the golden rule. Excuse all the negatives. But I don't think that when you let God awake within you, that the golden rule wouldn't automatically exist, because it would automatically exist. If I am Christ and I recognize that you are Christ, then we have the golden rule in action. We have it in realization. We have it in being. We have it automatically, not only on the surface consciously, but below the surface subconsciously. So whenever you're imagining lovingly for another and you're convicting you're impressing with conviction your subconscious, you have also embedded that I am Christ. And that the one I'm imagining lovingly for, whether that's another form of myself or of a friend, I'm doing this through the golden rule, because I realized if I am Christ, he is Christ. We all are. So every blessing is going to hit the mark. Every blessing will not miss the mark at all. It will hit the mark, and it will continue until it is objectified. Those blessings will matter. You'll follow, like the previous chapter, the work of Job. What a wonderful chapter. Oh my gosh. Prayer, the art of believing. 7 chapters of very, very potent Neville. I mean, really, really good. Each of these chapters could have been an hour, easily. But we'll cut it off right there. Next book up is going to be The Search. Hang on for that. See you in the next chapter.